Hello, my name is Katie Manning, and welcome to Geeks Audio Heads, and have a lovely day, chucks. Hey!
Hello, this is Geeks Assembled Audio Heads again. Yay! And we're doing another Unbound because we are in the midst of our What If season as well. Unbound are the stories of What If, and this is He Jests At Scars, a reference to the little bit where Matrugio is making fun of Romeo, who has in his former love interest, Josephine or Rosalind or somebody like that. Anyway, and he just has scars that wounds have not created. Anyway, something like that. And it's Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet. But we are talking about what if the Sixth Doctor, the Valeyard, had actually won the trial of the Time Lord and had taken all the Doctor's regenerations and all of his stuff, all of his life, and became basically immortal. And he started messing with things because he wasn't the kind of person that the Doctor really was, except for he kind of was deep down inside. Anyway, became necessary for the. Anyway, I'm not gonna tell you the whole story because I have three fellas here who are willing to help out with this storytelling and this discussion. Let's start off with Beef Dad. What do you think, know about He Jests At Scars?
Well, Michael Jaston recreating the Valeyard is quite something. But as he's taken over the Doctor, parts of the Doctor seem to take him over at times too, which is quite good. But he decides he's going to change some of the things that the Doctor did, what he considers Doctor's mistakes, like destroying the Daleks, awakening the Silurians earlier, so that everything changes totally on Earth, and to use the Doomsday weapon from Colony in Space to destroy Gallifrey and the Castabras constellation. And of course the Time Lords are watching all this via the Matrix and watching their own destruction, so they somehow get hold of Mel, played by Bonnie Langford, recreating the role, and her job is to go and kill him or reach the Doctor inside and persuade. But yeah, it gets, for me, but there again, I've not been that healthy this week, so when I was listening to it, I was sort of thinking about me physically, internally. I found a lot of it very jiggling about and confusing. It's possibly not the easiest one to follow that we've had. There are some good moments, and as I say, the performance by Michael Jaston is absolutely brilliant. Bonnie Langford as Bonnie Langford, she's just brilliant as Mel. Uh, and yeah, who else? Yeah, Tim Priest playing the president.
Please tell the story.
Oh, right, must I? Yeah, Tim Priest, his mother was one of my teachers at primary school when I was very small. She was a lovely, lovely lady, but incredibly proud of her son, and that he's always telling us how talented he was as an actor. And she was absolutely right. Juliette Warner as Ellie Martin, she was really good. She was really good. She's the sort of the companion to the doctor, stroke Valeyard. It's very, 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 very good. Very, very good performance from her. Yeah, as I say, that was good, apart from the fact that everything got so badly blown up and screwed up, and the Valeyard mucked time up so badly that it would take thousands, if not millions of years to put it all right. That's it.
Yeah, that is it. Okay, Lee, what did you think of this?
Well, I like the premise of this. It's all down to the butterfly effect, isn't it? The wings of a butterfly creating a tidal wave across the world. You know, everything has an effect, and what he does has really affected maybe 1,000 years down the line or in the past, and he has to go further and further back into his past. I mean, you know, where he accidentally destroys his fourth self, going to Legopolis and stuff like that. He's by accidentally doing that, he's committed self-suicide. It's very, yeah, it is. You've got to really listen to this and think, because I don't like the phrase, but it's timey-wimey, and it is as well. Also, it is a very well-written, fan-written story. This, because there is a lot of nods to the past.
Yeah,
So
Gary
the
Russell
first
wrote
Doctor,
it.
Stephen Duggan. Gary Russell, yeah, brilliant guy. Met him a few times. And saying that you got the fourth Doctor Legopolis, as you've said, the Doomsday Weapon from Colony in Space. So there is a lot of nods to past TV stories. But it is. I like the performance from Michael Jason as the Valeyard. This sort of fleshes the Valeyard more. You know, fleshes him out more. And to think that at the end of the Trial of the Time Lord, the Doctor didn't come out of the Matrix. He was trapped in there, battling the Valeyard, you know, in eternity. So let's send Mel through the seventh door and try and save the Doctor or destroy the Valeyard. You know, but yeah, I like this. I agree with what Beef Dad said. It can be a little bit confusing if you're not paying attention to what is going on. I can see where he's coming from there. But I enjoyed this. Michael Jason is so sinister. He just oozes evil as the Valeyard stroke Doctor. Yeah, I enjoyed this. It's bring the Valeyard back. As I say, in Big Finish, they can do it. They can do anything in Big Finish. So yeah, I enjoyed this story. It's a big thumbs up from me.
Thanks. Yeah, supposedly he was slotted between the 11th and 12th regeneration, and you know, somewhere in the timeline, you know, here he's stuck in this place, and so we got Peter Capaldi instead, which, you know, wasn't a bad choice. A very good choice, actually. Okay, Alex, speaking of thinking, here's Alex's his thoughtful discussion about it.
Okay, well, I mean, this was a very nice try. I think they probably either should have had either more characters, which would have made it more confusing, or a definite point. Obviously, I've even talked to people that were fans, even in bookstores, and they said, well, that Trial of the Time Lord thing was really too weird, and then even the Inquisitor Linda Bellingham, who's no longer with us, and Michael Jason, who's no longer with us, said that basically it was a debating society for maladjusted sociopaths. But technically, and in most science fiction stories, even if you have an effect, it's supposed to have, some of it can be very wide sweeping and some of it is not. But even if the Valeyard is the evil side of the Doctor, I don't know how they got rid of the good side of the Doctor or the Doctor altogether. And after a while, it got to be a little bit too much of the twirling of the mustache, if the Valeyard had one. I would have had a lot more respect for the story if there had been somebody else, Romana, Leela, somebody else, or even Colin Baker coming back, but I guess they didn't want to pay to sort of stop him. I'm glad he sort of self-defeated, or he sort of had it. It's sort of like a tic-tac-toe where there's, but that's the thing. I mean, how far do you go without making it either too complicated and complex or too simple? But I mean, even so, even in Star Trek, they talked about this 3 different times in the original show, that even if you have an evil side, it can't be stronger than the good, and there still has to be some of the good there, because you're not supposed to be a one-dimensional character. Now, obviously, the choice, it would have been more believable to me had there been more of a struggle, like like they show on the TV, where you have the angel on one side of your shoulder and on the right side you have the devil or whatever, because no one's supposed to be truly evil anyway. But, again, it's a radio play, so that's probably very difficult to illustrate. Plus, it was already long as it was. But I'm just saying, on the face of it, I bumped into people that are sort of casual fans of Doctor Who, and they said, well, even if the Time Lords were right and the Doctor wasn't supposed to meddle, they're meddling. But then if they never meddle, that's bad too. So it's kind of like, which, not only the chicken and the egg and the good versus evil and how much is good and how much is evil, but the other problem is you don't have necessarily pure on either end. And it's also the choices and the actions that you take. And even the Doctor, when he was good, he wasn't always making good choices, not all the time. So that's the other issue, is sending Mel back. She didn't have a huge repercussions on the Doctor per se. Maybe in the Matrix there was, but not with the 6th Doctor. And then they didn't even bring up the 7th Doctor. And then there's the question of, is the McCoy character, what he became to be, another side of the Valeyard, where he was more controlling, but not controlling to the everything's for me and everything's my way type of arrogance that the Valeyard had. So just a few thoughts. I'd basically give this probably a C+. Go ahead. No, I'm just saying. I'm just rounding it out. Go ahead.
We're not ready for the rates yet. Okay. So what would your favorite moment?
What were you saying, Lee? Because it looked like you wanted to say something.
Yeah. Well, you were saying you'd it'd be better if Colin Baker was in this, but these Unbound series were purposely done with no doctors in them. It was other people playing what if this was the Doctor, and the Valeyard in this is the Doctor. This is because the Time Lords gave him what he asked for in the trial, all the Doctor's remaining lives. He became the Doctor. This is what if. So, and sending Mel back, this is because this what if happened just after the trial. So they sent Mel back because she was there.
Yep.
Anyway,
And so basically she became a time lady
Well,
for all intents and purposes. So now we've had, in the main line, we've had Ace as a time lady, and now we've got Mel as a time lady, and Susan as a time lady in another Unbound. So we've got, you know, I'm just going to question the strength of the argument against all these people being time ladies and time lords because, you know, for all intents and purposes, all you need to do is be a student, be on Gallifrey, and maybe get the imprimatur, and you don't even need to be a Gallifreyan necessarily.
okay, well, but here's the issue, because the other question is, I understand that this is the dimension where the doctors, if we've known them even in book form or even in TV form, aren't there. I understand that, but even Colin Baker admitted in the Trial of the Time Lord that you can't have both prosecutor and defendant be the same person in the trial. So I understand it's a super paradox, and that's fine, but it's even harder in an audio version, which they did a decent job, but yeah, it's still.
So do you have any favorite moments?
Yeah, but this isn't. But this isn't the trial.
Okay,
No.
but you still take my point, though. I understand I'm stretching it a little bit.
Do you have any favorite moments?
No, I don't necessarily have any favorite moments. Like I said,
Okay.
Michael Jaston, he's obviously chosen because he's a great character actor. He's a very classically trained actor. Wonderful voice, just like Colin Baker, even though he's not in this. And like I said, it's a very interesting super paradox. But that's the other problem, is that unless it's just to illustrate the paradox, is there a resolution? I mean, there is and there isn't. I understand they're doing that on purpose, and I understand that they'll get criticized no matter what dimension you're in a way. But I still think it should have been written from a little stronger point of view and a little better, because even at the end, I'm not sure if any doctors are alive after he's done all his damage, which technically should mean that he doesn't exist, right?
Right. That's the what if. So, so Lee, what are your favorite moments? Since we're going backwards.
Well, I like the ending because it's. I like the whole thing. I mean, I like the idea of Chronopolis and the Magnificent One being sat there in control of everything, and it's what the beholder sees Chronopolis as, and Mel saw it as Brighton. That was just brilliant. But it's a very, very good ending, and it's a sort of it reminds me of the end. I don't know if you all watch Sapphire and Steel, but the very final episode of Sapphire and Steel, they were stuck in space, and this is like a similar ending. Mel and the Valeyard are the only two in that room. I don't know if there's anything beyond that room, and it's already been there 10 years. It's a very, very, very scary ending, really. It's just those two at the end.
Yep. No screaming. Just standing there looking at each other deep in the eyes. Okay.
Yeah.
Deep Dad, what's your favorite moments? Hey, Beef Dad, unmute yourself and then repeat yourself, please.
Yeah, I agree with Lee. It's the business about Brighton. And the thing is, of course, you've got other creatures, other creatures and people who are capable of time travel that are also imprisoned there. From the Space Museum, the Apocalyptic Element, and Warrior's Gate. Yes, Warrior's Gate. And they are just, it's just so clever, especially when the Time Lords book work out where they are. It's Brighton, only they call it Brigton because they can't work out Earth names. It's when he realises that he's so screwed up the web of time that it has taken over and is stopping him. That was good. That was good.
Okay, I'm going to choose a different favorite moment then. I'm going to choose the moment when they're in Legopolis and they kept going back to Legopolis over and over and over again. That was incredibly interesting and intricate because not only was Legopolis with the Doctor, then the Valeyard, it was also the Master, and it was also the Time Lords, and so here was a nexus point of a bunch of cool storytelling that had been done over the years, and Legopolis was also an Adric powered story, which was arguably a very good thing to do because our Adric had a lot of chutzpah in the mathematical area. And so, why not use his great ability to, solve some dimensional equations? Super cool. Anyhow, that's my favorite moment. So, is there anything anybody else wants to talk about this?
I just love the Michael Jason's. I know it's written, the part's written for him, but I just love the way he uses the elongated words and the English language as the Valeyard. It's all these long words instead of using a short word, but no, he'll just use it. It's brilliant. He just asks there, and the way he sort of dispensed with Ellie was quite shocking.
Oh.
But that's the Valeyard.
Yep.
He is evil, and he proved a point to Mel, and that's it. Yeah, he is not the Doctor. He is the Valeyard. Very, very shocking scene, but it works.
Yes. Okay, and I like the fact that the Valeyard is sort of a doctor of law, and he's trying to, and here he was like in the Trial of the Time Lord trying to uphold some sort of messed up law, but then in this one he is the Valeyard trying to break all the laws. I mean, he is literally breaking every single law of time and really killing the web of time in the process. Pretty intense. Anyway, how about you, Beef Dad? Anything left to say? All right, cool. Alex, anything left to say?
No, not really.
Okay, let's.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Go, Lee. Go. Lee, you're muted.
No, Beef Dad was muted. I was trying to say Beef Dad was muted.
Oh, Beef Dad, go for it.
No, I was just going to say I've gone through all the bits that are up there.
Okay, so why don't you give us a rating score out of 10 and yeah.
I'll give it a 9.5.
Any final say?
Well, that was because of my confusion at times. But there again, I mean, you could put that down to age.
No, it was really genuinely confusing. Lee, how about you? Rating score out of 10?
Well, my final say is Nicholas Briggs. Let's have the Valeyard back, but maybe facing a different Doctor. Because it's always been 6E. It's always been 6E. But let's let's see what he could do against the 8th Doctor, or
How about the 12th?
Or the 11th.
yeah, but they haven't got those actors, have they?
Well, they will. They will.
Well, they might not.
13.
Yeah. Well, anyway, skipping over that, my score is going to be, it's a banger, bang on 10 for me, because I just love the performances. Michael Jason, pure evil, love him.
Yes. Okay. And Alex, rating score out of 10?
Yeah, I mean, the cast is good and the dialogue is good. I just wish they had written it a little different way, and there didn't seem to be much point to the story, although I understand that they're trying to, pay homage to sci-fi and the God complex and other types of weird dichotomies and things like that. So for that, it gets a 9. But like I said, I kind of wish they had written it a little differently and had a little bit more punch to it. But like I said, the cast is good, and the theories that the story has is good. I just wish they had done a little better.
And I will give it a 9.5 out of 10 too. And the Brigton is actually a reference to the Brigadier, as all things are. Just FYI. No, I'm just kidding. I just killed everybody. Yay! I feel very much like the Valeyard all of a sudden, having really wrecked the web of time. Anyway, it was great. It was a really cool thing. Could you show the red eyes of the Valeyard, please, on that one picture? Yes, exactly. That's the eerie face that we're looking at. Thank you, folks, for joining us on this podcast. And thank you, fellas, for podcasting with me. This is, no, don't pick his nose. Jeez. Oh my gosh. And please do tune in again as we go further down the Unbound route and further into the Scarifiers. We're going to be finishing doing some of these series, and I hope that you're enjoying this stuff. Audio Heads is certainly gotten a bit smaller, a little tighter knit group of people, but we're doing some incredible literature. Anyhow, please join us again in a fortnight, because we do these every fortnight. And do like, subscribe, and join our Facebook group, and follow Lee on Instagram and, Tumblr and Twitter. And definitely subscribe and like this all over the place. And thank you for joining us. See you in 10 years from the capital of Chronopolis. Anyway.